Oh, okay. Okay, there we go. There we go. We're live now. We are live now. I don't know how to start this off besides saying, Corbin Burnes, you are a Baltimore Oriole. And I love this trade for the Orioles. I actually like this trade a lot for both sides. Like, Baltimore Orioles, you get your ace. You got Corbin Burnes. Yeah, he didn't do as well last year, and he's, you know, his strikeouts have been going down a little bit year per year, but you still get an ace. Corbin Burnes is still one of the top 10 dudes in baseball, one of the top 10 starters in baseball. He's not just a dude. And, you know, I kind of like this trade for the Milwaukee Brewers as well. I mean, you get a shortstop, Joey Ortiz, I believe. He's an older prospect, 25 years old, but he's going to be a rookie this year, I believe. Yeah, he's going to be a rookie this year. He's still got that rookie eligibility. He did not do that great in his time in the majors, though, but that's not really that big of a deal. It's 34 plate appearances. Very, very small sample size. Of course, you'd like to see a little bit better than that 17 weighted run creator plus and 0 WAR, but that's a non-issue right now, at least. He actually had a very, very solid season in AAA last year. Yeah, he had a really solid year in AAA last year. 507 slug, 378 on base, and a 321 average. Yeah, that BABIP is a little bit high, I think. BABIP's a little bit high, but I mean, that's still solid. And I don't know exactly how good he is with the glove. 50 fielder. That's not terrible. That's, you know, that's middle of the road. That's middle of the road. So that's not bad. That's not bad. And DL Hall, I know he has big upside, a big lefty arm for the Milwaukee Brewers. I think he pitched pretty well last year for the Baltimore Orioles, if I believe so. No, I'm not going to sign up just yet. I'm still trying to navigate Fangraphs. I'm just now getting used to it. What did he do last year? I know he split some time as a starter in AAA. I know he was used primarily as, or not primarily, entirely as a reliever in the majors last year for Baltimore, where he did pretty well. He did pretty well if I'm just reading the stats off just normally. 3.26 ERA, a 3 FIP, a 3 even FIP, high 10, almost 11 strikeouts per 9. The walks seem to have been the issue with him. Will he be able to just tone down the walks in Milwaukee? I hope so. And I don't know whether they're going to use him as a starter or reliever primarily. I imagine they're going to absolutely give him a shot as a starter. That's what I would do if I'm Milwaukee. And then at the very least, you're going to have a lefty bullpen arm who throws gas. He throws what, 100 mile an hour fastball? Let's go look. We'll talk about Corbin Burnes here in a second. Right now, I kind of want to do a dive into DL Hall. I know his stats are not going to be not qualified. But look at that fastball velo, a 95.6 mile an hour fastball on average. There's a small sample size, a lot of red here. If he can harness those, I mean, even in a small sample size, what did he do? How many walks in his time in the majors this year? 5 walks in 19 in the third inning. That's not terrible. His whip was a 1.19. Not that bad. Not bad. 2 home runs given up in almost 20 innings. Obviously, small sample size. I could say that so many times. But if you're the Orioles, dude, Ryan, you got Corbin Burnes. How are you feeling right now? How are you feeling? I love this trade. Corbin Burnes, he's going to be the ace of that club. Look at all that red. He's going to be so good. And with that left field over in Baltimore, it's going to be a hard time. It's going to be very, very difficult for a righty to take Corbin Burnes deep in that left field. He throws that nasty cutter going away from righties. It's going to be really tough for anyone to hit the ball out if you're a righty against Corbin Burnes in Baltimore. Yeah, I know there's only 1 year. You only get Corbin Burnes for 1 year right now. But who knows? The new ownership just came in and made a splash. Like, how long had the new ownership taken over in Baltimore? Like a day? Less than? They're going to be able, they might extend him. They might be trying to do, you know, like a San Diego's type of GM, maybe even Alex Anthopoulos, although it's a bit late in Corbin Burnes' career for him to be AA'd, you know? Feel like it was a win-win trade. I think it was a win-win trade too. Like Joey Ortiz, yeah, he might be a solid prospect, but he's a little bit older. And realistically, where's he going to play? I mean, you got Jackson Holly coming up. You got Jordan Westberg out there. You got, who's the third baseman right now? Why am I blanking on this? Colton Cowser. There's another guy out there too. There's another guy out there. I can't think of his name on the top of my head. But I love this for both sides. And it's even for Milwaukee, like Willy Adames it's his contract year. I don't even know if we can call this like a full rebuild, because these are two guys that they're getting that are MLB ready. And if they want to do a full rebuild, they're going to be able to trade Willy Adames, and Joey Ortiz is going to be able to take. Oh, dude, I'm such an idiot. Gunnar Henderson, of course. I knew it was going to be an obvious name. I literally had him in one of my last videos as one of the thumbnail guys, of course. That's crazy how I forgot about Gunnar. What's wrong with me? What's wrong with me? But, dude, this is great for Baltimore. I'm really excited for their fans. And I think this, if they weren't already, maybe they weren't my pick for number one in the AL East, but I think this gives them the edge for me. Like, they're young, they're exciting. They got Adley, Gunnar. If they keep progressing, Santander, like, I feel like he's one of the most underrated players in the league. Santander, he's disgusting. He's been putting up good years for the past, 3 years? He kind of broke out in 2020, and he's had really solid years since. Let's take a look at the Orioles depth chart right now. Let's take a look at their starters, man. Because I feel like we've all said that the starting rotation and the pitching for the Orioles is the weakness. And Corbin Burns, Kyle Bradish, they both had Bradish had an ERA under 3 last year. He had a very, very solid year. I hope he can do it again. Corbin Burns, if he just performs, just middle of the road, or not middle of the road for him the past 3 years, he's an absolute ace, top 10 pitcher in baseball. Grayson Rodriguez comes in and he progresses and he's that ace that we all think he's going to be. That's amazing. Dean Kramer, I don't know enough about Dean Kramer to really speak on him. Feel like you need one more reliever. I think, you know what? I think they can do that. Who else is out there? They can go get a trade for a reliever. Or who knows, man? They might have some dude just waiting in the wings ready to come up. Relievers are so volatile. Sometimes they come up out of nowhere. But I'm not saying that happens all the time. And obviously, I would love to go out in the free agent market and just get a bona fide dude who's been there, done that, who just has absolute filth. If that makes sense. If that makes sense at all. By the way, this is the first time I'm really trying anything like this live. So make sure to hit that thumbs up and subscribe if you like what you're seeing. I'm going to try to keep doing this maybe like once a week or something, to go over like a off-season recap, maybe a spring training update. Yes, Felix is out the whole year. I hate that so much. He was so fun to watch. I know they got Kimbrel, but he's not Felix Bautista. He's been decent the last couple years, but that's neither here nor there. Dean Kramer, what did he do last year? He went 13-5. Wins are the most important stat for a pitcher, by the way. Just kidding. 4.12 ERA, almost a 5 or a 4.5 FIP, 4.34 xFIP, 1.5 WAR. Not a terrible season, but he's more of like a 4.5 dude. You want a little bit better, especially if you want to contend for a division as tough as the AL East and make it to the World Series or make a deep playoff push. And I mean, if I know John Means got some time last year, what do they project for him? I'm really such a noob at looking at these projections, but Steamer has him at 4.48 ERA next year, over 173 innings. If he can just eat innings, there's value in that. Dean is a 5. I agree with you. I absolutely agree with you. I think he'll be the 5. I think I hope John Means can really come back and kind of do what he did in 21. I think he had a great year. But how have you been lately, Ryan? I hope you've been doing well. He did not. A very, very small sample size. Great ERA, but I think his FIP was like 5 or something. So that's not going to be amazing. That's not amazing when you think about it. And all that blue, that's not great to see. But obviously he's coming back from an injury. He's going to need a little bit more work, and hopefully with the whole spring training or the whole offseason, he will have to just kind of bounce back and refocus and, you know, just get himself in order so he can replicate what he did in 2021, which was awesome. He had a great 2021. I really liked watching him pitch. A whip right around 1. Of course, like, I don't want to rely solely on Baseball Savant, but yeah, you don't want to really see the xERA being like a 4. But he plays in a good ballpark. Ryan, I've been really good, man. I've been really good trying to shift over from MLB The Show to regular IRL baseball, and it's been fun, man. I've enjoyed making videos. I haven't really liked MLB The Show. That's kind of why I wanted to make the switch, because I can always talk about something baseball related. And I'm getting old. So my reaction time in MLB The Show just going downhill. So I think this is a good little shift for me, and I've been having a good time. I hope if you've caught some videos, I hope you've liked what you've seen. And I'm glad you've been good, man. Glad you've been good. Grayson Rodriguez, I think I remember seeing that he had a fantastic couple of months last year, like later in the year. Let's see. What did he do last year in the last like several months? August, 2.64 ERA. September, 2.17 ERA. Pre-All-Star break, he had a 7.35 ERA. Post-All-Star break across more innings, 2.58, 21 walks in 76 2/3 innings, 73 strikeouts, 1.1 whip. That's a fantastic post-All-Star break couple months. That's incredible. Honestly, I'm not very good in school, but I'm going to try to give this trade a letter grade for each team. And, you know, it's going to be high for each team. I think for the Orioles, it's going to be an A-. An A-. And I think for the Brewers, it's going to be a B, I want to say. I want to say it's going to be a B. I think the age of the prospects really make it to where I don't want to give it an A or an A+ or an A- or something like that. And if Corbin Burnes had 2 years left instead of just this one, I would call it an A+. Just me personally. And maybe there's some reasons out there why I shouldn't be calling it that. But I really like the trade for both sides. I think it's awesome. I'm excited to watch Corbin Burnes in the Baltimore Orioles uniform. And talk like if Grayson does what he did post All-Star break, the whole year next year, that's a hell of a top 3 in Corbin Burnes, Kyle Bradish, and Grayson. Let's actually see what Bradish did. I'm curious now. I'm very, very curious now. How's everything sound? Is the music's not too loud, is it? I will be able to turn it down if that's the case. Let's see. Where was I gonna go? Where was I gonna go with this? Oh yes, I want to see you. You talked about maybe getting another reliever. Let's look and see who's out there. Who can the Orioles grab as far as a reliever? Free agent tracker. Who's still out there? Speaking of relievers, I saw that the Mets just signed Shintaro Fujinami, and I like that for the Mets. I think that he could be a very, very good arm, especially after what he did with Baltimore last year as a reliever. I think he did very, very well. Yo, appreciate that, Ryan. Hell yeah, love to hear that. Love to hear that. Glad everything sounds good. Let's see. Who else is out there? Who's out there? Michael Lorenzen. I mean, he could eat innings. I don't know. I know he's probably going to want a bigger deal. He's probably going to want to start somewhere. Ryan Brazier. I mean, he's older. He's older. Let's see what he did last year. I don't know enough about him to really say if he'd be a good fit or not. 3 ERA last year, a FIP of around 3.14. He didn't really strike guys out. He walks a little bit more. I don't know if I'd want him. Not really sure. Not really sure if I'd want him. Brad Hand, you know what? What lefties do they have in that Oriole bullpen? I wonder if that could be a solid option. I mean, he has experience. I would look at a guy like Brad Hand and maybe get into that bullpen. I think that would be a solid move. Even though he had maybe not. Maybe not. I just remember that he pitched for the Braves for a little bit last year because that's my team. And he didn't do great. He didn't do great. 7.5 ERA. That's rough. Perez. Yo, Jesse Chavez, even though he's only good. Danny Duffy? What are who's Perez and who's Danny? First and last name? I don't know enough about bullpens, man. I wish I did. I'm very bad. Let's see. Aaron Loop, get Aaron Loop in there. It's weird seeing so many free agents like Brian Shaw. He's a little bit older though. Michael Fulmer doesn't have a team. Maybe a guy like Michael Fulmer would be a good fit. He's 30 years old. He's probably going to cost a little bit more money. Maybe. Did strike out a lot of people last year. Not a great ERA, but you know, reliever's so volatile. He could turn it on. Who knows? But anyway, I'm going to move on from this trade. Cionel Perez. Okay, Danny Colum. Okay, of course. Solid lefties. Thank you very much. Yeah, those are the lefties. I'm not good. Like, that's one thing too. I'm my knowledge of rosters is not as thick as I'd like it to be. So this is definitely going to be a learning experience being live while doing some of this coverage. But I'm looking forward to it. It's going to be fun. Let's see. But Corbin Burnes is not the only trade that happened. Jorge Polanco is a Mariner. And that was like, I didn't see that trade coming. Mariners are having a weird, very, very interesting offseason. I feel like the Mariners kind of gave up a lot for one year of Jorge Polanco. I love Jorge Polanco, but 1 year, man. He's 30 years old, switch hitter. I love switch hitters. What did he end up doing last year? What kind of year did he end up having? He had a pretty decent year. Had some injuries, if I'm not mistaken. Let's go look at Baseball Reference. I got all these sites pulled up, trying to figure out the best way to navigate all of them. Man, Polanco's been in the league for a long time. But Polanco, 2 WAR season, a 255 batting average, 14 bombs, OPS plus a 115. That's a solid middle infielder. Decent middle infield with him and JP Crawford. I love what JP Crawford did last year. Let me tell you, I think that was a great season. Great little breakout season for him. But that's neither here nor there. Jorge Polanco, Mariner. They gave up Anthony DeSclafani, a couple prospects, 4 guys in total. I mean, Anthony DeSclafani is not like a very important piece in my opinion, but also, what are the Twins doing? I'm kind of confused with what the Twins are doing right now. Like, are they supposed to be competing? Let's look at their depth chart. Like, they're definitely not a better team right now. So what? They have Julien as their second baseman, Royce Lewis is the third baseman, and Carlos Correa is a shortstop. I like those guys, I really do, but Correa needs to stay healthy. Royce Lewis needs to stay healthy too. I really don't want them to miss a whole lot of time at all. It really is. Mariners have had a weird offseason, you know? They traded Kelenic away, and there were talks about them being in on Bellinger, and I'm just thinking, why pay Bellinger so much money when you have Jared Kelenic, who has 5 more years left to control, who could develop into a guy like Bellinger? Not like, or maybe not the same type of players, but maybe this on the same level of value, and it's a whole lot cheaper. Kelenic's younger. He looked like he was kind of turning it around last year at the first couple months. But it's been a weird offseason. So they flipped Robbie Ray for Mitch Haniger and DeSclafani, which they sent DeSclafani in that package to Minnesota for Jorge Polanco. and they traded away Eugenio Suarez as well. So that is just interesting to me. I don't really know what to call it. And then the Twins got Desclafani, and I feel like he's not exactly who you want to, if you're gonna compete. I feel like they're in a weird spot. That AL Central is wide open. I don't think the Twins are the favorite anymore. And now, I mean, Buxton is always, I mean, I hope to see a full year of Buxton. I really would. I think everyone does. I think the whole baseball world wants to see him healthy for a full year because he's just fun to watch. And I don't know what to think about this trade. I really don't. I was looking at one of the prospects that the Mariners sent over. I know it's not anyone in the top 100, I don't believe. Where are you? Where are they? There we go. Darren Brown. I forgot. Justin Topa. Justin Topa was a solid reliever. He is a solid reliever, so that is some relief help for the Minnesota Twins. Botrix, you're a little bit late to the channel, bud. I forgot about you, Botrix. Very, very sorry. Okay, Gabriel Gonzalez. 20 years old. He doesn't look like he's going to be amazing. Although, I mean, who's to say? He's 20 years old in high A. Hit grades doesn't look amazing. Neither does power or raw power looks okay. Speed, fielding doesn't look amazing. And he didn't really have he had a decent year at A ball. But when he got to high A, it was a struggle for him. He only hit 215. His BABIP was pretty low. But his slugging was low. I mean, everything's going to be low. His WOBA was 309, WRC plus 83. But he's only 20, so there's definitely room for development there. And Darren Bowen, starting pitching prospect. He's 20. He's actually, tomorrow's his birthday. Happy early birthday, Darren Bowen. Looks like he's got some solid stuff. Right now, he's got a 55 fastball, 50 slider. His command, though, that command right now is looking kind of rough. The changeup not looking too hot. Maybe if he can develop that third pitch and get a little bit more control. 25 walks in 52 and 2/3 inning. That is kind of rough. It's very rough. 59 strikeouts, though. That's not bad. That was only a rookie. That was A ball, though. And he's 20. He's going to be 23 tomorrow. Happy early birthday again. I just don't know. I think this is I mean, you can get what you can get, I guess, if you're the Twins. But at the same time, that AL Central is wide open. I don't think this trade makes you better right now. And Jorge Polanco, he has 1 year left. Why not hold on to him and, go for the AL Central, see what's good, maybe wait until July, see what you're doing as a team, where you are in the standings, and maybe then trade him to someone who needs him and maybe get a better package. I feel like this is so weird. This is so weird. I don't even know what to think of the Mariners offseason right now. It's besides saying it's been hella interesting. Jorge Polanco now, JP Crawford, Josh Rojas at third. Luke Raley, he's more of a platoon bat, he performed really well with the Rays. He was on my fantasy team, so he got me some bombs, got me some steals. He mashed righties, but he didn't really do anything against lefties. Dominic Canzone, I would love Mitch Haniger to have a full healthy season and, give some memories or bring some flashbacks of that 2021 year. I think that was a 2021 year with the Mariners where they made the playoffs or where they got close to making the playoffs. I don't remember. My history is a little bit shaky there. But it's just a weird offseason, man. I am looking forward to Cal Raleigh. I am looking forward to JP Crawford and, of course, J-Rod. Very much looking forward to those two. That is going to be very, very fun to watch. I love J-Rod. I love Cal Raleigh. Hope they can both kind of pop off again. And it's just interesting. This offseason has been so slow. It's been one of the slowest off seasons, let me tell you. And I thought it was going to be one of the craziest off seasons with the whole Shohei deal. With the whole Shohei being a free agent, thought it was going to be massive. I wanted to see chaos, but we didn't get chaos. We got very anticlimactic solutions. Shohei going to the Dodgers was the second most boring destination for him. First being the Angels. Just went across the street. I literally just spilled water all over me. That's amazing. Let's see what else happened. I know there's been some other moves that have happened over the past couple days. Some other moves that have happened over the past couple days. Ken Giles, he signed a minor league contract with the Braves. I love that for the Braves. I mean, he hasn't pitched hardly at all since 2019. He's just been so hurt. But when he was healthy, when he was pitching, he was very, very solid. Very, very solid. Also, Shintaro Fujinami, briefly covered him. He just signed with the Mets on a 1-year deal, I believe. And he had a very, very interesting year. I think he had like a 10 ERA with Oakland as a starter, I want to say. Let's see. I just know the UI for Baseball Reference so much more. A negative 2.1 WAR. That's tough to do. That is very, very tough to do. But he did have he had a much better season in Baltimore as a reliever. 32 strikeouts, 15 walks, though. That's been his big issue. A 1.2 whip. That's not terrible considering his walks. Only a 6.4 hit per 9. Less than 1 homer per 9, which is, I mean, you'd love for it to be as low as possible. 9.7 K per 9, so his K stayed about the same. What's funny though is his FIP in Oakland is about a 4.5 compared to that 7.18 ERA. He was a very, very unlucky pitcher. And Oakland is probably not the best park or not the best team for a situation. I don't think that defense behind him was extremely good. So that might be one of the reasons of his struggles. And who knows, next year might be a little bit better. I don't know off the top of my head what his deal, like what the money is for his deal. Willie Peralta signing with the Pirates. Pirates could be sneaky. Maybe not sneaky, but they're building some depth. They're building some depth there. He hasn't pitched since 2022. Not a great ERAs those 2 years. FIPS not so much, probably because he played in Detroit. That huge park, Comerica. That's a massive park. Massive park. Speaking of the Tigers, I think the Tigers are my favorite in the AL Central right now. They are my favorite in the AL Central right now. We can do a deep dive on that later. Later is in maybe another date. Let's see who else. Let's go look and see who is still a free agent. There are a lot of free agents still left to play. That's crazy. Jake Diekman. I mean, I know I just said we're going to look at free agents, but feel like I'm all over the place right now. Let's keep going down and seeing what moves were made. Jake Diekman, another reliever with the Mets. I like what they're doing. They're trying to get some bullpen depth. All these 1-year deals, there's no such thing as a bad 1-year deal. It's something you do if they perform well and you're trying to get something out of it. Trade them at the deadline, get something of value back for your investment. Richard Bleer with the Nationals, Robert Gazelman with the Nationals. They're doing some small reliever contracts as well. Anything else big happened? Toronto signed Justin Turner. This is a very interesting one to me, especially once it was shown that they were in on the Shohei Ohtani deal. Unless they're really not planning on being a very big competitor this year, I don't understand why they gave Justin Turner, who's almost 40. He's 39. He's 39 years old. Will be 39 for the whole year. They gave him a 1-year deal. Maybe they plan on trading him at the deadline or something if they're not performing. But I'm thinking Toronto, they still have a very, very high potential to win. Why not go after a guy like Jorge Soler? Give him like a 3-year deal, or I think that's what Soler wanted. Maybe they're targeting the next offseason to make bigger moves. It's just confusing when you make a big offer to Shohei Ohtani. And then they haven't really spent anything afterwards after not getting Ohtani besides Justin Turner. Now, I really like Justin Turner, and I think he could do well for Toronto. I really do. but they are righty heavy for sure. And I know I just said let's go after Jorge Soler, who is another righty, but I just think Jorge Soler is younger. I think he's got more pop. And I just think he's overall a better guy you want as like a DH. And then maybe go after a guy like Cody Bellinger. I don't know. Maybe I'm crazy. Am I crazy? Let me know. I could very well be crazy. But it's an interesting signing for sure, to me at least. Aaron Hicks with the Angels. The Angels are about having the most Angels season ever, man. I mean, they've done what they can. They've done what they can, and they try to make it somewhat of an off season. I have high hopes, or maybe not high hopes, but I have hopes that the Angels could just have an okay season. You know, it's going to be fun to watch Nolan Schanuel, guys like Zach Neto. I really want Logan O'Hoppe to stay healthy, and I want to see a full year out of him. I think that could be extremely fun. And what's funny about Aaron Hicks, though, is that he was awful in the Bronx. He was awful for New York, but then he went to Baltimore, and he was like, I know he was in the lineup a couple games in the playoffs. I don't, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think he was cleanup a couple of those games, man. It's crazy. It's crazy, Jumpstart. It's just, they've signed a couple relievers. I will give them that. But they've had just a very depressing offseason, like Shohei leaving, just the whole Rendon thing where he talks about like we need to shorten the season when he barely plays 40 games a year. That's been interesting. It's just, oh man, I feel so bad for Angels fans. One of my boys, NMR Sports, he's got a great YouTube channel. He's an Angels fan, and I just feel so bad for him. I feel so bad for him. It's crazy. Aaron Hicks, really solid for the Orioles, to be honest, last year. 806 OPS, 127 OPS plus. And it's not like, I mean, yeah, it's not a full season, but 200 at bats, that's a solid little chunk right there. That is a solid little chunk of time right there, and he performed. That's crazy. When guys leave the Bronx and they end up doing well, like Sonny Gray. I mean, he did the same thing. Same thing. Okay. Actually, speaking of the Angels, let's go take a little dive and like, let's see what has happened with them. Oh, so that's how you look at this chart. Okay, so I'm still learning Fangraphs. I saw Robbie Hyde on Fangraphs and I was like, it looks so complex. It looks so much more complex than Baseball Reference. It must be better. It's a little bit more difficult to navigate. But as of right now, it's the facial hair. I think it is. I think it is, dude. I'm a Braves fan, and seeing Brian McCann, no beard, shaved head, awful, terrible. I'm bald too, so if I was a professional baseball player and I had other options, I gotta have some sort of hair on my face. I gotta have a beard. I gotta have something. There's gotta be a way I can see transactions, right? Okay, latest roster moves. They have signed Aaron Hicks, Miguel Sano, and Matt Moore, Robert Stevenson. Those are good bullpen pieces. And Miguel Sano, I like that. I really do. I think that I want to see something cool happen with that. I want to see Miguel Sano get back to form. I was hoping the same thing with Franmil Reyes. He signed with the Royals last year, and he played for like, I don't know, maybe a month, if that. And I went and I saw the Royals, and I saw Franmil Reyes hit a ball so hard, man. That ball got out of the stadium in a hurry. It was so cool. But Miguel Sano just fell off the face of the earth. Is there a way I can look at, go back further? Maybe? I don't know. I don't know. Maybe not. I guess I can just do it this way. But another interesting thing, Colt Keith, he just signed a deal just like Scott Kingery, Evan White, a 6-year contract. He hasn't even played a single inning in the majors, but looks like he's going to be very, very good. No, thank you, T-Mobile. I am fine. a double A last year, 276 at bats, 14 home runs, 50 RBI, 2 steals. Very, very solid numbers. 325 average, 391 on base, a 585 slug, a 163 WRC plus. That's pretty sick. You think it's going to age horribly? I could see that. I could see that. What was it? A 3-year deal? And relievers are so volatile too. I remember he was doing very, very poorly in Pittsburgh. He went nuts at the Rays. The Rays just know how to develop pitching. They just, I mean, they have no remorse for the elbows, but they know how to turn some guys into studs back there in the bullpen. He did horrible in Pittsburgh, except for 2022. He had 13 innings that were solid, but other than that, it hasn't been great. Has not been great. So I think you have something there when it comes to it might age horribly. 3-year, 33 mil. That's a lot of money to give to a reliever when you're not like one who is not, you know, very established as being nasty or being ridiculous. Yeah, I don't know about that. Or let's look at his Savant, see what he did. I'm learning something new every day. What did he do this past year as far as like percentiles and analytics? That's a lot of money, man. Finally, when they want to spend money on pitching, they don't have Shohei, and Mike Trout's getting older. Can someone explain that to me? Can someone explain it to me like I'm 5? Because that is insane to me. Like, why wait until now? Like, after 2019, we're all like, you need pitching. You need pitching, Angels. What are we going to do? We're going to sign Anthony Rendon to play 45 games a year and tell everyone how much he hates baseball. That's what we're going to do. That's hilarious. Crazy. Angels moment, absolutely. Now, these are great. This is a great Savant page. The problem is, will he be able to do it again, or will it be looking like this in a year or two? I believe it may lie somewhere in the middle. Maybe. Let's see. How much harder is he throwing right now? He's literally throwing the exact same fastball speed that he was last year, but that doesn't mean that his other pitches are the same. So I don't know. It could go either way. I am going to tend to think that maybe that was a rougher deal, but maybe they don't plan on really competing for a couple more years, which I don't think they have a choice anyway. So maybe they just want to have someone who they can flip, you know, in a couple years when they need to, but I don't know. I'm trying to talk myself into believing something positive about it. Matt Moore's a solid signing. And who knows, maybe Robert Stevenson did unlock something in Tampa Bay that he'll be able to take with him. And Cole Keith, I'm looking forward to this. He signed that Scott Kingery deal. I don't know exactly what the numbers were, but 6 years, hasn't played a single inning in the pros. AAA last year, had a 287 average, 369 on base, 521 slug. That's really good. He's 22 years old. He's going to turn 23 late next year. I think he's going to be what he's projected to be their opening day second baseman. That's really solid. That's really cool. That's going to be really, really fun to watch. Let me see if I learned how to navigate this. Do I think others like Jackson Holliday and Wyatt Langford will get extensions? I think it's possible. I would love to see that happen. I tend to think that making moves, I mean, some of those deals just haven't aged well. I don't remember the last time it has aged well. I just know the Evan White and the Scott Kingery ones just really stand out to me as failures, even though, I mean, granted, it wasn't that much money in the long run. However, it's still some money for a guy who's not really playing in the MLB. I think that we're going to see teams go towards the Corbin Carroll route and the like Ronald Acuna Jr. route, where they play a year. I've seen enough. You're young enough that if I gave you 8 years on a cheaper sort of thing, if you get hurt, you're still set for life. if you're playing for a long time during, if you play out of your mind for those 8 years, you're going to be 29, 30 when you hit free agency again. You're still going to get a huge contract. Yo, Jumpstart, I really appreciate that sub, man. Thank you so much, man. I appreciate that. But that's kind of what I think. I think the Corbin Carroll route is going to be kind of the wave of the future. And I don't know. It'd be interesting to see if this Colt Keith deal works out. If he comes up and he's like one of the next big studs in the AL Central, I think that maybe could sway some things. Let's see. What kind of deal is that anyway? Let's see. Colt Keith deal. How much was it? 6 years, 28 mil. That's a solid team-friendly deal. Club options for 2030 to 2032. 2 million signing bonus. And escalators for 2030 through 32 that could make it as much as 82 mil over 9 years. That's a solid. Like it's tough to say no to that if you're a guy like Colt Keith in the minors. Like the future's not guaranteed. Future's not guaranteed. So that is. I'm looking forward to how this works out. And here's the breakdown, which it looks so small on the surface, man. Hey, yo. 10 million club option in 2030, $13 million club option, and then a $15 million club option. I think that's solid. Or some buyouts. Man, that's a great deal that's a team-friendly deal for Detroit, especially if he pops off. Wow. That's not a lot of money for Colt Keith, I feel like. I don't know how to feel about it. I mean, either way, I mean, I'd love to make that much money. I really would. Let's see. What else? We got Cole Tucker going to Seattle. He's never really panned out. We got Hector Neris going to Chicago. That's a solid little bullpen piece. Chicago Cubs need to do some work as well, I think. Do we think Bellinger ends up in Chicago? I think possibly. You're afraid of the Jackson Chourio deal? Oh, man. I think Jackson Chourio is going to be a stud, though, but obviously we thought the same thing about, like, Scott Kingery. I really want Jackson Chourio to come up and just go ham. Do you think he's going to make opening day roster? Or is he going to be in AAA for a little bit? Let's go look at him. I'm super stoked for him. I really want to make a point to watch other teams besides the Braves next year. What did he do last year? 22 bombs, 43 steals, an 803 OPS in AA as a 19-year-old. That's impressive. What is his deal? Let's see. Let's look at the Jackson Chourio deal. I don't even know if I can contract. He'll be the starting center fielder for the Brewers. I love it. I love that so much. 8-year, 82 mil. Word, that is risky. But, you know, even if if he comes up and he's like an average player, like looking down the road with how expensive contracts are getting, it won't be too much money, I feel like. And he's always going to be, barring injuries, I don't know. I'm trying to have the most positive outlook on this. Realistically, I think he's going to be a stud, but obviously it's never black and white. It's never a guaranteed thing. I'm excited though. I'm excited to see what he can do. What do you think about Garrett Mitchell though? Is him, Weimer, and someone else? I'm actually like, I really want to look at the Brewers depth chart now. Jackson Chourio, yeah. I'm forgetting about Yelich and Sal Frelick. Of course I am. That's kind of a loaded outfield, man. Like, what do you do? And do you think Rhys Hoskins is going to play first? Or is he going to DH? Christian Yelich with the DH, that would make the most sense to me. Maybe Garrett Mitchell out there. Maybe Sal Frelick. I feel like I would rather have Sal Frelick out there over Weimer. And hopefully all these guys just play up to their potential. That's what I would hope for. Other than that, like there's not been that many moves, like nothing big time. Adam Ottavino over to the Mets. Alex Wood, 1-year contract with the Oakland Athletics. That's kind of cool. He's fast. Oh no, that's not what you want to hear. I mean, you do want to hear he's fast, but you want to hear some other things instead of that. Mitchell, Churier, Frelick, and Yelich at DH. That would be a fast outfield. I'm kind of looking forward to that. Frelick had a decent little couple months right there, didn't he? He did, I believe. I had him as one of my prospects as in my fantasy baseball league. Let's see what he did. I'll kind of want to look where he was in Baseball Savant. Let's see what he did. I remember, who was it? Bryce Terang hit that grand slam. Ooh, that doesn't look good. That does not look good, but I mean, it's a small sample size. OPS of right around 700. He's 23 years old. Could be a lot worse. Could be a lot worse. But who knows, man? I was, in the latest video I did, which came out today, by the way, I was, I'm not going to spoil it in case you do want to watch it, but Isaac Paredes, if you look at his stat line and then go look at his Baseball Savant profile, I have it in the video, and then look at his spray chart. It's interesting. It's one of the more interesting things I've seen as far as player evaluation, and whether he can do it again, I don't know. I don't really know. Actually, I think Jock Peterson with the D-backs. That's cool. I'm down with that. He loves the AL West. My Braves fandom, I know all about Jocktober, and Jock Peterson, maybe he's going to have some moments against his Dodgers again as a D-back. I guarantee you Arizona wishes they had Jocktober on their team last World Series. That's a solid little signing right there. I'm cool with it. I'm cool with it. Oscar Gonzalez, talk about a fall. Him signing with a minor league deal with the Yankees. He had a decent little season with the Cleveland Guardians in 22. That's crazy to me, man. That is absolutely nuts to me. I'm still like navigating this. It's terrible. 11 bombs, 296 average, and that is probably, I wonder what his BABIP was. His 345, so it was kind of high, but not like alarmingly high. Slugging is 461. His on base is only a little bit higher than his average. 3.9% walk rate for Oscar Gonzalez. That's probably what kind of happened to him. Jock was probably a good one. I think Jock was a solid option. Jorge Soler would be great too, but I don't know. I don't know how. I mean, I'd love to see Jorge Soler just send moonshots anywhere. I mean, he's always going to be deep in my heart as a Braves fan, as having one of the most historical moments of the franchise, even though he played with the team for 3 months. But anyway, I think that's going to be it for me. It was a solid almost 50 minutes. This is the first time I've ever done this before. I would say my roster knowledge is not incredibly deep compared to a bunch of other YouTubers, but I'm here to learn. I'm here to hopefully maybe spread some insight as well. And I'm going to keep doing this maybe like once a week or so. So, dude, Jumpstart, I appreciate you subbing, man. And I hope you have a great rest of your day. And appreciate you, man. Good conversations. I'm looking forward to this season. But before we go, who do we think is signing next? Who's signing next? What are you doing? What are you doing, Timmy? You did not have to do that. My God. My God. I don't even have alerts set up for that. You're crazy, man. You're crazy. It was very fun, Jumpstart. I appreciate you. Timmy, thank you so much, man. You did not have to do that. You're just a G. You're an absolute G. I absolutely got to heart that. Chapman with the Giants. That's a good call. That is a good call. I like that very, very much. You're wild, Timmy. I appreciate you so much, man. Thank you so much. What do you got going on this weekend? I'm actually sweating now. Always finding ways. You never have to do that. It is always appreciated, though. Trade away Stripling for salary purposes. I think they will. I think they'll definitely sign Chapman. Even before that, were they having trouble with salary? I didn't know that because I thought they had made Shohei Ohtani an offer or were thinking about it. We all know they made Arson Judge an offer a couple years ago, I think. Was that the alert? The delay, super delayed alert? That's crazy. You know what? How long do these last? Because that's the least I can do. Is just to chill and wait for that, like, have it expire, you know? Find a dress for a dance next week? It was a father-daughter dance? That's awesome, man. That sounds great. Ross Stripling, let's look at his career. I know he was an all-star at one point. Didn't he play for what? He played for the Jays at one point, right? My man Timmy's a Giants fan. What do you think if they signed Matt Chapman? I think that'd be fantastic. And dude, I can't thank you enough, man. I'm probably getting to the point where I'm annoying by saying thank you so much, but I don't feel like I do a very good job in that avenue. But dude, I really appreciate you and thank you very much. And by the way, Jumpstart or anyone in here, go sub to my man Timmy J Gaming. Makes amazing MLB The Show content, really does. Top tier creator, and more importantly, top tier human. Ross Stripling, he did not have a fantastic year. He was an all-star with the Dodgers. 3 ERA. That's a solid little career right there, or solid little season that year at least. All right. Let's see. Let's talk about what do we want to talk about? Let's see who's still out there free agent wise. It's crazy how we have 2 weeks left before spring training, if that, maybe like 11 days. We still have Jordan Montgomery on the board. We have Cody Bellinger on the board. Blake Snell on the board. Matt Chapman to the Giants. I think that is the most likely destination for him. I am going to say Blake Snell. I'm going to make a prediction right now. Financial buy-in with Crawford and Belt. Really? No, never mind. That's absolutely true. Do you think they bring back Brandon Crawford for just like 1 year? Maybe a bench role? Maybe a single year? He was making 12.5 mil this year. That is bad. That is a very, very big financial liability. I would actually love to see a guy like Cody Bellinger in, I mean, I think he's going to end up with the Cubs, but I'd like to see him in Toronto and maybe even him in San Francisco would be cool. Excuse me. Kershaw, man, I need him to sign with the Dodgers. I really do. I can't let him go out like that. He can't go out like he did against the D-backs, man. He just can't do it. I refuse. I absolutely refuse to believe it. It sucks, man. It sucks. That narrative is always going to find him, which is terrible, man. I hate that. I love Kershaw. One of the best lefties ever, probably. Dude, his career ERA is 2.48. That is just insane to me. It is absolutely wild, man. His batting's got worse. He's getting slower than he is, man. He's getting really slow. If he were to take like a 1 year deal worth like, I don't know, 4 mil, I feel like that's low, maybe. That is so true. That's so true, Jumpstart. Having to go to the A's, that's rough, man. That is rough. Dude, okay. Also, speaking of the A's, do you all follow Codify on Twitter? Because they tweeted out their projections for, I don't know if it was their projections or just some sort of projections out of like an algorithm. The Oakland Athletics, I believe, were projected to win 72 games. Can you guess, take a guess of how many games they projected the Colorado Rockies to win compared to those 72 wins? I'm not going to say it for like 2 more minutes. But dude, there's a lot of good players here. JD Martinez, Jorge Soler. Man. Yeah, they projected him to win 72 games, I think. I think if you look up Codify on Twitter, I think this was maybe like 2 weeks ago, maybe even longer, maybe even more. 72 wins compared to, all right, I'm going to say it at 6:51. I'm Central Time, 6:51. I will say it. Schmidt at third. Jordan Schmidt? Let me see. Schmidt. Casey Schmidt, duh. Casey Schmidt, duh. Man, he had a rough year. Holy hell. That is a rough, I mean, he's young. He's a prospect. Depends on how, yeah, that's true. Depending on how much. True. I can't imagine he would get more than like 25 a year. I think a 6-year, $110 million deal is what I would try to give Matt Chapman. Oh, really? Autograph from a dude. That's legit. That's a great pull. One of my buddies just pulled a Taj Bradley. I think 5 out of 5, numbered 5 out of 5. Casey Schmidt. I remember his prospect card or future star card in, I think, 22. Maybe he had a mission or something. I just remember grinding with that card. Let's look at Brandon Crawford. It's funny how many tangents or like how many deep dives we can go on. Just like we could do this all day. I could do this all day. Okay, 6:51. They projected the Colorado Rockies to win 61 games. 61 games. Compared to the A's, 72. I'm scared to open Twitter up on this because I'm scared of like bots and stuff. But you know what? We're going to find it. I'm going to find it. Codify. Let's see. Where's their media? I want to see where it was. Where's their projections? Where are they? I'm going to have to search for a while, I feel like. That's unfortunate. What the hell was that? What was that? That's crazy. I'm hoping he improves too. I really hope the Giants improve as well. Maybe this is a hot take, but this might be a hot take. I'm going to say the Dodgers do not win 100 games. I'm going to say it. I'm going to say it right now, right here, right now. Maybe it's just too far back that I won't be able to find it. Codify rankings. Projections. Let's see. Wins projections. Maybe I won't be able to find it, but that was like what stood out to me. I feel like I got it right. I don't remember if I just don't think that I will ever forget that. I'm hoping he improves too. Let's take a look at their depth chart. Let's see what they're working with. I'm just excited to watch Logan Webb again. He's low-key top 3 Cy Young. He was top 3 Cy Young too. I know, right? It's crazy. It's nuts, man. I don't see any. I know they are definitely paying for 100 games. I almost wanted to say they're not going to win 95 for real, even though they won 100 last year. Their ceiling with their rotation so high, but they still have some question marks. And I'm just trying to be like, I just want the Braves to be better, but I mean, I still think the Braves are a great team. And if Shohei was pitching, I would definitely say absolutely 100 games, maybe 110. So 2025, I think, is going to be the year for him. All I know is there's so many ways you can look at the depth chart on this website, and I don't know the best way yet. Really high on Kyle Harrison. I'm excited about Kyle Harrison. I really am. Okay, so these are the projections. Dodgers 100 games, D-backs 84, Padres 82, Giants 79, Rockies 59. Rockies projected 59. Or these are projections, right? Yeah, they are, because the D-backs were like 3, or maybe they weren't. Hold on a second. I don't know all of these off the top of my head. What were the standings? No, that's what actually happened. Okay, my bad. That is what actually happened. My bad. My bad. Let's see. Let's look at Logan Webb. That is unfortunate for Brandon Crawford, by the way. Less than 200, a sub 600 OPS. I didn't realize he was 37, man. I thought he was going to be like 35. Logan Webb. Logan Webb. What are you doing, sir? Kyle Harrison's going to be fun to watch. He's definitely some of my... You know, I want to make a video going over like ranking top 10 few rookie of the year picks for the NL, but it's just like, it's going to be boring. The number one, like, it's obviously probably going to be Yoshinobu Yamamoto. Kyle Harrison's going to be sneaky good, though. Fastball velo, average exit velo. ERA's up there. I can understand why you're not as high on him. He does play in a pitcher's ballpark. He's great with the walks, though. Not great on the hard hit. That's a little bit concerning. He's only 27. What does his 22 look like? Maybe this is just how he does it, but 2021, his numbers were looking very, very good in some of these compared to what they are now. Like, whiff is not great. I mean, granted, you got to look at other things besides strikeouts. His elite walk rate. Elite walk rate. Okay, I do have to go. I gotta have dinner with the GF at 7. I got 4 minutes. I mean, granted, it's only in the next room. But yo, I appreciate you all chilling. Jumpstart, appreciate you subbing. Timmy, dude, thank you so much. You did not have to do that, man. The super chat, the $49.99 super chat. Thank you so much, dude. I still gotta set up something. That is literally the first super chat. That is literally the first one of the channel, and I appreciate that, man. Yeah, the hard hit rate and the whiff rate. If it was any other park, I would be really, really concerned. Be really, really concerned. I mean, it's still concerning, but it's at least at a pitcher-friendly park. But it's still concerning. It was fun, Jumpstart. I think maybe next Friday again or something. Timmy, I appreciate you, man. I hope you and your daughter have a great time at the dance, and I will see you all later. First, absolutely, dude, I will never forget it, man. I will never forget it. I appreciate you so much, man. I really do. And I will see you all another day. Have a great weekend. Peace out, homies.